Last time on Dead Zips and Dragons. The party ventured forth into the underground remains of Old Principium in search of the missing Septumium. As the party explored a long dry valley, a hunting party of pale goblinoid creatures chased a cave creature into the valley and quickly dispatched it. Attracted to the light sources the party were using, the creatures investigated, being sent away after Styx convinced them the party was a rock god. Yes, a geological deity. After following the creatures further into the underground valley, they find themselves on the outskirts of a bustling community. Welcome back to Carowin, and we hope you enjoy this episode of Dead Zips and Dragons. Y'all make your way past kind of the skirting the edge of the pond, past what seems to be like what used to be set up as, like a very broken down stage in an area where there was like farmland, but like on a smaller scale, so more akin to a garden, with a bunch of benches. So like from just based on the structure and what y'all have seen in the bigger cities, what looked like could have been a park at one point, though very like upkeep on it clearly has been of a lower priority over pretty much for like the longest time. You make it to the edge of the hill and you start skirting your way up, and as you get closer you can see that there's the large building with two buildings like situated on the either side of it, and then there's kind of buildings across the way where you can hear kind of just the din of what sounds like dinner noises coming from inside the shop, the kind of houses off to the left side there, and other than that, not really anybody milling around, but like some kind of like noises here and there, just like indicating that people are living in those buildings currently. As you turn and look at the big building, you can see there's a gate on the outside, like a wrought iron gate, and above it says the Principium School for talented individuals, and you can see where there used to be an I in Principium has long been lost, and it's spelled PRN like you've been seeing previously.
So Principium.
Yeah, like the city y'all have been in this whole time.
Wait, so I'm confused though. Like, so the I that is missing clearly changes the spelling of the word, right?
Correct. So at one point it was spelled. Here, I'll put it in a reference. The city y'all are in is spelled like this,
Sure.
and the sign looks like it would have been spelled like this, but is missing the first I.
Okay. Okay. Wait, so the city we're in is spelled wrong then. It's PRNCIPUM is the name of the city we're in? Or
No,
the other one?
This one was named like correctly, like Principium, and then the one upstairs is the one without the first I.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they've named it after this fucked up sign.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Would seem like that.
Or just over time, the signs just kind of seem like it might have faded.
Maybe all the eyes fell off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
so the outside says Principium School for Talented Individuals.
right. Never been much for school. How's the town sounding to everyone? This only gives me mildly heebie-jeebie vibes.
This school's a little bit creepy.
The school has lots of information. We could.
Oh no!
Right. Remember way back when, all those days ago, when I said that if you tried to make me read, I'd kill you.
You can't do it.
I'm not saying I'm going to try and make you read, but there might be some picture books in there that could help you.
Right. Operative word there. Books. What do you do with a book?
There might be some pretty pictures in there for you to look at while I read.
Second operative word. Might. What if there's just creepy kids in there?
Okay, I take out my swords and I said, sounds like we're going into the creepy ass school, but for the
No.
record, I was against it the whole time.
In the school, it's a place of learning. It's important to branch out your minds and let the world come in and just learn everything you can.
Lad, we're gonna learn how to be dead and branch our minds straight into the fucking ground, but let's go.
Is there a door nearby?
How many? Are there? There's no people nearby, right, Kyle?
Not in your immediate vicinity. So, not currently anyone outside. I would say, based on your passive perception, you can hear noises coming from the houses across from the school that sound like the clinking of silverware on plates, general din of conversation, and just like the sounds of what you would understand to be like dinner time. And so there's not a whole lot of people outside.
Gotcha.
Though from the school, you're not entirely sure because there's the gate that you're at, and then the courtyard you would have to cross to get to the front door. You can't quite tell if there's anybody inside the schoolhouse from y'all's current position. But there's no one outside in the immediate vicinity.
Right. Okay. That helps.
But doesn't resolve the question.
I was mostly curious if there were just people looking at the group of people discussing the Silent Hill school and whether or not we should enter it.
It just, oh my god.
Are there weird Silent Hill children looking out from the windows? Can I roll perception for that shit, please?
You can roll perception.
Let me find my dice. Is the gate that's hanging loosely from its hinges rocking ominously back and forth with a creak that sounds like the cackle of a billion depraved souls?
You also hear over through the cavern a groan of an organ going.
Yeah, well,
Suddenly,
I
like,
actually
lightning down here for some reason.
And a lightning strike in the middle of an underground cavern.
yeah. Well, I rolled a natural 1, so that's what's going on in my head.
You
Sure, it's fine.
you in the middle of all this convince yourself that there is, you're staring at it, and without dark vision you're like having a hard time making out details across this courtyard, and you convince yourself that there is a little girl standing in one of the upstairs windows.
Right. Still fucked. Still against it the whole way. Let's go.
Here's the school. Nothing's ever gone wrong in a school.
Yeah, you should ask Canada about that, eh?
Oh boy.
Oh lord. What is Canada?
Anyway, is there a door?
Yeah, so as you cross across, there is a stone courtyard with stones that have not had very much upkeep. You have the kind of some trees long since dead and rotted away, and just kind of higher, similar walls just bordering the courtyard. You get up to the door, and it's doors that were clearly made for human entrance, though by the state of the town, you would assume it has not been used for that purpose for a very long time. And yes, you have found the door right at the front for the entrance to the schoolhouse.
Am I
Okay.
going first because I'm the dodgiest? Like what is the marching order? I'm volunteering to go first, despite my misgivings. But if someone else wants to be hero, it's very much in my character to allow it.
I've already had a door drop on me
for me.
once.
Okay, so I don't stealth up to the door, but I rock up to the door and I touch it.
Okay. You feel wood beneath your fingers.
It's made
Okay.
a door.
Does it have a handle?
Yes.
I would like to pull the handle.
Okay.
Turns out it's a push door.
Yeah, right.
It actually is.
It's a push door.
It is a push door, so pulling on it
Well,
does nothing.
I would like to struggle with it for about 15 seconds
Right.
until someone points out that it's a push door. At which point I will push it in, muttering to myself that I knew the whole time.
um. Okay. So you kind of rock back and forth. And you're like as you're like rocking it, but then you manage to push it and open it up. Not creaky. Seemingly either used like frequently or oiled enough to the point where it's not creaking like you would have expected based on the derelict surroundings. As you enter, there's like a what you see before you is kind of a like a lobby area. You can see there's a like a fountain that used to run with water that long since dry. Kind of like some offshoots to the left and right towards other doors, though. Again, inside here, there's no light at all. And then right in front of you is another set of double doors that you can hear like muffled voices coming from.
Okay, I will stealth now, since there is indication that there might be people here that do not want to be intruded upon.
Okay. Everybody, go ahead and roll stealth checks for me.
Whoa.
Dude, got my natural one out of the way. There's no way I could roll another.
Womp, womp, womp.
Dude, I was so correct. Was a 6.
Nutter Butters. I didn't do much better.
There is the die channel still.
Yeah, I'm looking at my...
Just to save Kyle some headache.
For sure.
I can't believe I rolled a 4.
Bro.
We're doing good. Do 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 do.
I don't know what. I know Chacho got called away. Bob has his mic muted.
It sounded like he was in like a windstorm.
Yeah,
my
I can
boy
tell-
sounded like he was flying home after a day of being Superman.
Yeah, I was like, is he driving or is it raining? Like,
No, I'm still here. I'm doing yard work right now, so I'm kind of listening in.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Would
that
you,
makes sense.
Do you want me to roll a stealth check for you?
No, I can just look at the roll 20 dice.
Gotcha.
Let's see. 4.
4. Oh my god.
Dude, and on this episode of the party Scooby-Doo's into the BBEG's lair.
I will roll for Chacho though, and I'll just use a base roll, but it's higher than yours, so.
Man, you didn't need to put disrespect on it, Kyle. I know I'm bad at being a monk.
Yeah. So y'all, knowing that stealth, what do y'all want to do?
I mean, I'm my plan is unchanged. I think I'm probably pretty hidden. So I'm going up to the door to attempt to listen in.
Okay. Is the party doing this, or is it just you?
Oh, we're stealthing into the school, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Y'all have made it into the lobby area of the school, and y'all are outside of another set of large double doors and hearing muffled voices currently.
Muffled voices.
Yes.
And it's actually like pretty scary looking in there.
It looks not maintained, and
Listen to him.
there's
It's
no
fucking
light
terrifying.
to be found. So I mean, you can interpret that how you will.
The answer is yes.
Interpreting vague answer is yeah.
I don't know. Some people find enclosed spaces scary. I'm like, that's up to your
Feel
personal
at home.
preference.
I think I'll probably just walk around and try and can I roll perception on the the surrounding lobby, like to find out more about, like just to see more about the lobby and.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, let me roll. My brain didn't work for a few seconds there.
Are there any bookshelves?
Oh, that's a nat 1.
Which makes sense because we're still in full darkness, so
I can't see shit.
yeah, so you're like trying to squint at the surroundings and not really making much of it. Bookshelves, if you like started feeling your way around, there are like a handful of them, though long since empty.
They're what? They're empty?
Correct. There were bookshelves at one point. I mean, there are bookshelves, but there are not currently any books on it.
Oh. Are there any like statues of? Are there just any statues in there?
I would say there's probably like 2 statues on either side of the door. One looking as you like feel it with your hands. It's no dark vision, though I guess with the help of Chacho you could probably piece together with the details. The one on the left looks like an individual with long hair and a crown atop his head. Beneath there is an inscription that is well worn, though still somewhat legible, that reads, oh shit. Give me 2 seconds. I believe it would read, oh my god. You hate when you do this to yourself, when you're like, I'm gonna think of something on the fly that requires a name that I've used before.
Yeah. So self-referential lore as an improvisational instrument is the Achilles heel of my life.
Okay, here it is. Oh my god. All right, so the one on the left, it's got a crown on it, and it's longer hair, somewhat of a stubble, clearly like carved into it. It's a bust of what you would normally see, like kind of for dignitaries, and underneath it says King Althwin, which is distinct for you. For those of you that are familiar with the Empire, which I believe at this point would be everybody, because that is the same name as the current reigning Emperor, who was known as King previously actually it would be King Alfheim, who is the father of the current Emperor before he became Emperor. On the right side, there is another bust of an individual that has feline features, being of like a tabaxi race, who is similarly garbed in what seems to be regal kind of situation. Underneath it, it has another inscription that reads as Duke Brythus, Lord of the House of Principium, spelled with spelled similarly to how the gate was spelled, and listed as the benefactor for the school. And those are the 2 kind of like statues that are on either side of the door leading into the hall.
Did I have any luck with the voices?
With the voices, did you roll? Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Use a different fucking dice. Okay.
Imagine Kato just stomping over to the door with his 9.
Just slamming his head into the door. 19.
No, I was just gonna shout everything I hear back to the party.
Yo.
I hear. So you said 19.
Correct.
Okay. You hear from inside. You hear muffled voices that start to become clearer as and you don't speak Goblin, correct?
Let me look at my sheet, but I don't think so. No.
Okay. You hear noises that were similar to the hunting party, as kind of language that you heard them speaking to each other prior to them switching to common. When you had encountered them previously, you hear a little bit of that kind of speech again, where it's like, followed by, it seemed, somebody who is attempting to speak common, though is clearly struggling with the word, and under the guide of somebody who is speaking common a lot more, like with a better handle on it and guiding them through a very basic sentence. So along the lines of just like, I ought to eat the bread. And that's what you hear.
Okay. Right. I eat the bread.
No.
Good lord.
7-inch, baby.
And you yelled that at us?
I'm gonna go with yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
Don't
Are
know.
you
It's what they're
eating
saying
bread?
in here.
Oh.
So they're eating bread in there.
I hope so. Kind of peckish.
Is that all you heard?
Ah. I do my best like 2-cent imitation of goblin, which I assume sounds like.
Fair.
Mean anything to you, Sticks?
No. I'm guessing. So the door you said is cracked open.
It's the door is currently closed, though able to listen in and hear through it.
Okay.
Have the voices stopped now that I've begun shoutcasting them?
So far, no.
Oh, okay. Well, do I hear anything else?
If you keep listening, and I guess with the help of Sticks kind of listening in now too, you hear more of the same, like somebody guiding somebody through a sentence. So you hear like kind of, no, yes, and you, this is how you would use this word here in this sentence, and that will let somebody know that you are, yep. Like switching from common to goblin, though the person speaking common currently seems to have a better grasp of it.
Okay.
It sounds like this is a school, like it says in the thing, and they're being taught how to speak common.
Neat.
These might be children in there, so maybe we shouldn't bother them.
Right. Probably creepy anyway.
Are we just gonna go then?
I mean, we can explore the rest of the school.
Nah. You say we gotta pack it up. Let's
No, it's just this one room that we probably shouldn't go into.
You
Oh,
don't
but we
think the
wouldn't
rest
want
of
to
the
bother
school's in
them.
session?
I mean, there's no point in not checking.
Right. Well, if we continue to explore the school, and I want you to take this very seriously, we do run the risk of running into the one thing worse than reading, which is math.
Oh, they use it math.
Well, there isn't a guarantee we'll run into that.
All right. Trusting you on this one, but if they start adding, can't promise I can control myself.
Well, I will try and confine you if you can't control yourself.
You may try.
Okay. So, Chacha, you're the one with dark vision. Can you help us find our way through the school?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe helpful to pull up a thing for y'all. Let me get this.
A map?
Yeah, you know.
What's the Dora song?
I'm the map.
Next,
Alright.
we'll have the backpack. Can you find the backpack?
So there is, whoa, okay, chill out. There is this kind of area. This is the double doors that y'all had come through previously.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of double doors that y'all are currently listening in on. And then there is a door currently closed over here. And then another door also currently closed over here.
So, left or right? Which sounds good to y'all?
Always just flip a coin.
Yeah.
Okay, I take out a gold piece and I flip it.
Okay. if you have a coin handy, go ahead and flip that thing.
Have
Fair.
one handy. So a heads left, tails right.
Works for me.
Heads. We're going left.
Okay. Go ahead towards the left side. As you get closer to that door, you also hear muffled voices coming from that section as well.
I would like to try and listen in.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception for me.
That is a 4.
Okay.
I need to
It's
stop using this big dice.
it's muffled, but you can hear just like kind of bits and pieces in Goblin, but also in Common at times. So it's like along the lines of like the ship is in the. That would be about the extent of what you're hearing currently.
It seems like there's another class going on in there. So I guess let's try right now.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to roll perception on that one?
I'll go take a look.
Okay.
Yep.
Above the table notion, what happens when the school goes to recess and all of the little buggers come out at once?
We get trampled.
We become Godrock again.
Oh, fair.
So perception 18.
Okay. On the right side, you were hearing in Common, yes, and 2 + 2 is, and then somebody, 4. Very good.
You're aware what has to happen now, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Is he the only one who heard that?
But unless
I
he,
whisper under my breath, motherfucker. And I kick in the door.
all right.
Oh, good lord.
The rest of the party, you're kind of being tugged along by a rope since y'all are all still tied together. You hear the crash of a, like muffled whisper, and then the crash of the door as it kicks open, and then just kind of gasp from inside as y'all are getting dragged along by a rope into a room, which is set up with desks and a chalkboard in the front with somebody teaching at it, currently doing just basic math. Inside, for the one with dark vision, there is about 5 to 6 people seated, one person standing, and they all look not children, so like adults.
Oh.
As I go through the door, I say, right. That's enough of the math. It'll rot your brain.
You hear a like a muffled, "Who the fuck is that?" Then
Yes,
just, like,
sorry to interrupt. We're just passerbyers checking the stability of this house.
there's murmuring, and then just the instructor from the front goes, "I do not believe we're acquainted. I do not like this intrusion. Also, if you haven't you've not looked around and realized you're not Underlin. What are you doing here?"
You mean you don't recognize the Southern Underling tribe?
You're
I mean, I know
speaking
we
of,
look a little different, but we are underlings.
if you're speaking of the Valley people, you do not look like them. Please explain
Keep
yourself.
your
How
eye
did you
checked.
make your way to our village?
Right. Came through a door, saw a bunch of spiders, was a god rock for a bit, walked in, hopped the fence, now we're here. You need to stop teaching these people math, it'll make them stupid.
No, math is very important. Ignore this person.
No, ignore the person telling you to ignore me. Math is dangerous. One hit's all you need. And then boom. Completely an idiot.
Gauging the room, you can tell that most of the people sitting there are more just surprised by the fact that there are people that are not like them currently in front of them this far into the town, and also just in general. And the instructor kind of looks at you and goes, "Will you kindly please stop your blabbering? One of you clearly has sense," looks at Styx and says, "Please, if you will wait outside, we will get you situated within the town to where this is, so we can get to the bottom of what is going on here."
course. So you
That
just
sounds
want
like
us
a deal.
to wait outside the school?
Or please, if you don't mind, we are instructing these individuals in night classes, and we would prefer that it go undisturbed, please.
Well, would you need any help? We are educated to some of us are educated to some extent.
That can be
Right,
discussed
not
further
me.
later, though I...
That's an important distinction. I'm very uneducated,
I did
but
say
learned
some.
in the ways of the world. Do you want practical lessons? I'm your man. None of this adding trash. What do you even do with it? Buy 15 coconuts, give 3 away? How many do you have left? Less than 15 coconuts, why the fuck would you give them away?
Please, if you could get your group under control and wait for us outside in the courtyard, we will be with you shortly.
Of course. I lead and I pull on the rope trying to get them to come with me.
I leave reluctantly, spouting more drivel as I go.
So, do we want to wait for them? Or are we going to try and... They seem friendly.
He said he was gonna help.
So, as
He
y'all
did
make
say
your way
that.
out, you can still see just kind of like the jaws on the ground, shocked faces of the individuals sitting in there. Though the one teaching seemed like surprised by your appearance, though not as like aghast at the existence of people outside of their own kind. Though the people inside, sitting down being taught, seemed thoroughly just confused and surprised by the entire situation.
Right. I say as we get outside. I say we meet with them. One, so we can stop the atrocities taking place in this particular premise. And two, because this seems like the exact type of place that someone like Septumium or whatever the big nerd that we're looking for might hang out. Right, it's like damp, it's dark, he can do math with no one to judge him, he can force his perverted ways on others.
I think everyone does math but you. I think you're the weird one here.
Right, I think there's an entire island of people somewhere out at sea that would argue with you, but you'd probably be lunch before you had much of a chance to debate. Charming
Well,
people.
it does
Food was a little weird.
seem like a place that Septumium would show up. These Underdark people just don't suddenly start developing a school on their own like this.
Wow. First the island people, now the Underdark people. Just letting loose on everybody today, aren't you, bud? If you don't add, you're on the shit list.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. One of those mathists, aren't you?
You know it. You gotta have your education. You know, I could really teach you how to do all these things if you would prefer.
I would literally rather die.
Okay.
Well, alright, you'll make your way outside, and as you wait, kind of seated around in the courtyard, it's some time before an individual comes out, about shorter than y'all, though not like tiny, probably about 4 to 5 feet tall, comes out, goblin in feature, though, with the gray kind of skin color that you had seen of some of the other goblins in the valley. It's an individual wearing like what is seemingly formal-ish dress, but clearly made from a patchwork of other formal outfits. In terms of like a jacket, a vest, like a bow tie, though, with just like different fabrics that have been sewn together to fit the individual. And he's currently wearing spectacles on the bridge of his nose as he comes out. And he looks at all of you and goes, "Well, it has been some time since we've had visitors from the upper world. Though you are not unwelcome, it is very unusual since we haven't had visitors for some time."
And how long ago was that?
Well, before the last one will have been hundreds of years.
And how exactly do you keep time down here? There is no sun to really gauge days off of.
Right. Not only mathist, but sunist.
I ignore him pointedly.
This is just my thing. Every time you make a comparison, it's just gonna be whatever ist.
We do not base time off of what you call the sun. What we do is we base it off of the waterfall that sits on the end of our city. As the tide comes in and out, it raises the intensity of the waterfall, and that's how we base our days. Though,
So that's just one day for you. And it's,
correct. Though,
okay.
sunlight is a bit of a sticky area for this society. The more
Why is
learned
that?
individuals of the clan Bright are the ones that are in charge of this town, though varying degrees of treatment of what we call the Bright.
Okay.
Right. Well, that was a hell of a wind up. Where's the pitch? So there's like a bunch of nobles that are kind of nasty. Is that the vibe I'm getting here?
Hmm?
It's okay. You can tell me I'm not with them, obviously.
I'm not one that would be well versed in the politics of your overworld. Though, if you want to speak on further matters and to explain the nature of your visit and what you are here for, you would want to speak with our clan leader, which I can take you to now if you would prefer.
That would be lovely.
Thank you. And where are you coming from, and what are your names?
Yes, my name is Styx, and I'm coming from the ocean. Big water.
I am aware what the ocean is. There are those that are less educated than I, though I am the head instructor here at the school, so I am very well informed on your above-world tendencies.
Oh.
I'm Tegan, and I'm also from the ocean, technically.
Right, guys. I think he might have meant like slightly more immediately than like before the city. We're from like, I don't know, 200 feet straight up, lad. There's a whole city up there. Called Principum. Principum. I struggle for like three goes trying to pronounce it.
There's a principal up there.
Yes, Principium. We are aware of or at least I am aware of the unfortunate misspelling that has beset that town. Though they seem to have blissfully soldiered on in their ignorance, believing it to be a old ethnic spelling of the word idiots.
Gives it character.
Though we as a society have existed down here for hundreds of years before modernizing ourselves and sending out what we call bright seekers to gather knowledge and information from the above city. So I am well aware that there is a new construction of the Principe, and we have known about it for quite some time, though the entrance of individuals finding us has been a very recent occurrence.
Right. Well, that's where all of us are from most immediately. I guess the rest might want to tell you they're from the ocean. But yeah.
Very well. Her name is Pent a Cog.
Sure. Pint a cog?
Pent and an apostrophe cog.
Okay. Nice. Mr. Cog? Pint?
Please,
Preferred
Mr.
address?
Cog is my father. I am Dr. Pent.
Understood,
Senior
Dr.
Pint.
Pint.
I can lead you to our leader, where he can potentially illuminate more information about our people and also help kind of sort yourselves, since you seemingly have found something you were not expecting.
That'd be lovely.
Very well, follow me. He starts leading y'all off towards the town. So as y'all making your way downtown, walking fast. No. y'all make your way towards the edge of the plateau and kind of circle down back towards the lower level before y'all had come up on the hill to the schoolhouse. Um, make your way over to a larger building situated on the outskirts of town. As you get closer to it, you can kind of hear the ringing of an anvil a little bit louder, and you're seeing the sparks a little bit more clearly as the hammer strikes the metal. You can see light flashing across the cavern, illuminating some of the scene you see before you, which is a large team of individuals working on large metal pieces in some kind of larger design. As y'all turn towards the larger building, Pint looks at y'all and says, "Yes, and this would be the home of our gracious leader. If you can see yourself inside, I will be with you to make introductions, and then I must be back to oversee the night classes."
Yes, thank you very much.
So as y'all had been passing through, y'all had passed a number of individuals who, varying degrees of surprise, like very much like confusion and surprise as to y'all's really existence in the town currently. Very very different reactions than how Pint had reacted, though. Nobody being outright hostile. Um, yeah. So he leads
I'll
you
wave
in.
to some of them.
They do not wave back. They kind of like lower their eyes and in hushed tones, like like kind of hurry past. Um, so you're outside the building. He leads you in and kind of indicates as y'all come inside, the Pent announces y'all's arrival and goes, hold on. Ooh, there it is. Brightbringer, Rock Bright. I bring before you individuals who have found their way, as we had thought might happen, from the above overworld to our town. And I have brought you here as you requested for anybody that should be found to speak about the nature of their visit. The individual that he indicated as Rock Bright, which, again, this has all been dark. There's not been any kind of light at all. The individual says, yes, this is, well, surprising. I wasn't expecting this. You can see he has, like, a napkin tucked in his neck as he's been eating a dinner, and he goes, give me one moment. And he pulls out a set of goggles, puts it over his face, and then lights a lantern nearby so that y'all can all actually see the state of the room currently. It's an older house that seemingly has had renovations done to it to where it would be stable, so structurally somewhat looking like it's in need of like further repairs, though the inside it seems to be somewhat nicer, and y'all are currently in what looks like a dining room.
Okay.
He goes, yes.
Very nice place you got here.
Well, I appreciate it. My name is Brightbringer Rockbright. I am the current leader of the Underlins, and I run this town.
Okay. So what's the government system? So are you just in charge? Do you have people that work for you to work in special areas, or you just decide everything yourself, what goes on?
I am what you would call I guess a king or a duke, though we refer to it as Brightbringer. I am the fifth in the line of leaders from my clan to hold this title.
Okay.
Why are you down here? We always, the more learned individuals of our society, knew that at one point somebody would accidentally find their way here, though two within a short span of time seems like something concerning. Is there an open area allowing y'all in here now, or like how did you find your way in here?
Actually looking for someone who might be the other person that you mentioned that was down here. Who was that individual that you said came by recently?
We refer to him as the storyteller, though he hasn't been by for many weeks.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me like a physical description of this person?
Human.
Fair.
There. They kind of
We do
all look
all
the same,
look
don't
big.
they?
Indeed. Human cloaked, the only one we've seen in hundreds of years, so I have nothing to reference for you. He came asking lots of questions, very surprised by the existence, was looking for the old keep, which we pointed him towards, and then since he found what he was looking for, we have not seen him since. Though it was quite the hoopla inside the city. He was very, very keen on asking about, telling stories and asking for stories.
Okay. Could you possibly point us towards the old keep? We've been looking potentially for this individual for a while now, so that would be really helpful. It'd be really helpful for us if you can direct us there.
Yes. I can send you with a party towards it, though they can't take you all the way.
Thank you. You're being very accommodating so far.
Well, we've been stuck in this cavern for generations, though my clan had a creatures imbued with light that spoke to us since the creation of the clan Bright. They are the ones that unified our clan, and since then we have started trying to modernize as much as we can. We send people up to the surface to gather information, to help teach, and we are currently trying to expand our reaches from just this cavern, so it would do well to have some friends.
Maybe
What are
we
you
can
trying to
put
get
in
out?
What? Less out, more establish further colonies.
Right. Okay.
Would your people be interested in settling in the city above y'all?
We are not very well suited for sunlight in general. Above ground would be quite difficult. We're what once used to be goblins that got stuck here and have since adapted through revolution. He points to the goggles and kind of the skin, to survive in the dark. That's why we refer to ourselves as Underlins, because we're not quite goblin anymore. We though the plan currently is to dig and establish further colonies in other cities.
Okay. Well, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, on to the other keep.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I can get
If
together.
your eminence is prepared.
Yeah, yes, I can send out for a hunting party to help lead y'all there. And we can get you on your way. But that'll take a little bit. Currently dinner time though, so if you would like to sit around and eat and ask any other questions while we get that sorted, I can send word for that. He kind of looks at Pent and says, "Can you please send word that we need a scouting party to help them lead them to the well." And then he says in Goblin like, and the guy Pent kind of nods knowingly and says, "Ah, yes, the Hall of Death. Yes." And then he looks and he goes,
There it is.
"Oh, sorry. I guess more accurately, the Hall of Underlin Death. We have not been able to pass through it since the individual has set up shop there."
Oh,
Right. Let's take like 2 or 3 steps back in this conversation. By the individual, do you mean the storyteller, the lad who came through asking about stuff?
Yes. Since the storyteller made his way into the old keep, he erected measures to keep us out.
Right. Okay.
Though not to keep the weird things in.
Yeah, 2 questions there. First, I believe Chocho has a question, but maybe his mic's not working, and he typed it in a couple minutes ago. So he wants to know the stories that they told the storyteller, and I want to know what they mean by measures to keep them out.
Well, the how do they have night classes underground? Well, we kind of answered the night situation a little bit. Their concept of night, late water. I don't know.
Low tide.
Yeah, low tide. The um, we'll start with the none of when we tried to follow him in there because we were curious as to what he was doing since we hadn't seen humans in a very very long time, merely heard stories of them except for the ones that had been above ground. We followed him to see what he was up to, and individuals that tried to pass through that hallway all disintegrated, though objects didn't. So our learned individuals are of the assumption that it is keeping us specifically out, and not necessarily anything else, though that is still to be seen. The stories, uh, um, where most people told varying different stories. Told a story of how the creatures imbued with the light spoke to our ancestors and bestowed the bright touch to my lineage.
And what is the bright touch?
He says, "Give me a moment," and he blows out the lantern and then snaps his finger, and in his hand you can see glowing an orb of light.
So magic.
Right, mostly just this.
Underwhelming, but interesting.
He kind of snaps his finger and extinguishes and relights the lantern. He goes, "Yeah, it's what has been how we find which individual is the new bright bringer when the old one dies. It somewhat passes only from one individual to another through kind of lineage, and that's how we determine who is the leader."
One person have it at a time, or can multiple people have it?
Oh, just me. I was the lucky bastard that was sidled with ruling the entire clan.
Right, you sound just thrilled.
It's somewhat recent. As of like
How
5 years ish, which I mean, compared to how long people rule for, it was unexpected to say the least.
I'm sure you're doing great. Keep it up.
But thank you.
Acho is typing.
I see that. What is he saying?
Right. So again, backing up a few steps. Fucking weird shit coming out of the keep, you say, eh? Seen some different things, some special stuff.
Oh,
Something that got you a little, I'd say spooked, but I don't
You see
know.
any
People
muffins?
Right, something tells me the muffin's not down here.
There have been
Strange feeling in me gut.
there have been varying creatures that have come from that tunnel. That can only really be described as from it's things that only we have read about in books, not really that exist underground naturally. Varying things of different kind of curiosities. In fact, just today somebody was mentioning that there was a rock claiming to be a god down in the valley when they were on the evening hunt.
Right, sorry. That was us.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
a god.
Right.
We're the avatars of the rock god, so we were channeling him.
Right.
Yeah. Don't listen to him. He's done way too many math problems.
It will addle your brain.
And it's what I keep trying to tell everybody, but they're like, no, it's good for you. It makes you smart. Sit down, focus.
It's overrated. I leave it to the engineers.
All right.
It's very important for your day-to-day life.
Eh, I have people for that.
Of course you do.
Anywho, right, that taps me out for questions, lads. I think they said there was food on somewhere.
Oh, yes, I can, feel free to help yourself to the food. I can have more brought in. You can eat. Snaps his finger, and a goblin kind of comes in and goes, and then like, and then puts goggles on and goes, "Oh, my apologies," and sorry, an Underlin, and brings in more food for the rest of y'all.
That's a good point, Chacho. I don't know if you see that, Kyle.
I see it. Which one? The weapons or the anvil?
That's just what are they
Okay.
constantly making at the anvil?
Right. So weapons wise, you can see that they have different varying weapons on their waist, though more seemingly as you ask about it, being well armed. He says, "Yes, well, not everything in the underground is peaceful, as I'm assuming you saw with the hunt in the valley. For decades, we were besieged by different creatures that would just run through and have their way with the town whenever they felt like. So we had to figure out a way to defend ourselves. The anvil striking would be the machine that we're building to help tunnel our way to a new colony. We actually have had a number of individuals tunnel their way to other cities, and we are currently making preparations to send a bigger faction towards another one of the cities in the near future. That is
So
currently.
cities. So are there multiple cities like yours underground, or is it just yours and they're making new ones?
This is the main one. This is where we originate from. There are smaller, I would call them camps, in other cities, though we are currently gearing up to establish a more permanent location in underneath another city. I believe you call it. He starts like rustling through some notes nearby as I start looking for the overall map. You'll call it Agricole,
Okay.
or actually, nope, my bad. I had my map upside down. Alfinium.
Okay. How are you supporting these tunnels? Are you just digging, or are you putting up supports?
Yes, and yes. Somewhat supports somewhat of a drill-like contraption. Really, a marvel from our engineering. The
I would love to see it, by the way.
Yeah, we can show you on the way out. Honestly, if you're interested in it, it's we don't have engineers, or we don't have very many visitors, and our engineers do enjoy hearing themselves talk.
Okay.
At this point, y'all dig into the food and have more conversations back and forth. Um, Having been fed, exchanging kind of information and stories and whatnot. The an individual that is dressed in kind of hunting clothes, though not not as quite formal as some of the individuals you've interacted with so far. Kind of comes in and gives a somewhat bow to the clan leader, who gives him kind of a nod and says, "Yes, this will be your scout group leader. His name is Hig Valley. He is one of our senior-most scouts. Helps lead the hunting parties that you seemingly have encountered previously. He will lead you to the hall."
Okay.
Well, best of luck. Feel free to stop back by anytime. I'm entirely sure you made your way down here. And yeah, I guess let us know how it goes. We're curious to know what's living next to us.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck. And then y'all are kind of ushered out. Um, outside, there's a group of four other underlings that are dressed similarly to the leader, who kind of like nods at y'all and goes, "Right, this way," seemingly struggling a little bit with the common, which he apologizes for and says, "I don't use your tongue very frequently.
Hmm.
My apologies." He kind of looks at the rest of them, and goes, "Yeah." And then they start leading you through the town. For many onlookers, kind of gawking as y'all are led through the town. The scout leader kind of rolls his eyes and just leads y'all through the town back towards the gate, and towards the kind of entryway that y'all had entered in previously before you had hopped the wall. As you make your way there, you come back towards the valley, and then the upper area, the upper lip of the valley that y'all had seen from the ground level, and where the kind of underlins and creature had skittered down from before. Y'all are now walking along that ridge until you reach a hallway that juts off from this kind of upper area. Let me zoom in on here. So I will screen for y'all real quick. Y'all are currently here. This is where y'all had entered into where y'all had just come from the town. This being kind of the entrance. Y'all have come out of there along this upper lip here, and are now currently seated at the end of a hallway that is more refined than the valley, as you can tell from just kind of the out, kind of the jutting out of this. This used to be a stream that led its way out, and remnants of kind of a dock off the end of here, and then a hallway that had clearly led down to the dock from the old keep. Pig Valley looks at you and says, "This is as far as we can go."
Because of the disintegration field, right?
He kind of looks at you confused and goes, and they kind of like discuss between each other. Underlins die.
Yes. Is it just this hallway that you die in, or if you get too close and digging, do you also die?
The other entrances, same issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I can like try and sense anything?
Yep.
Okay. What do I add to that? That's 8.
What did you roll?
I had 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's just an individual roll, you can just tell me.
Okay.
It's the big group rolls where I need it in the channel. That way I can like reference it. Because then
Okay.
we get like 4 deep, and I'm like, wait, what was the first person stealth? Okay. A 9. You can tell that there's a magical kind of barrier that's spanning the hallway. Clearly based on the information you've received with the intent of keeping somebody out. Though any kind of like further details that's not jogging your memory of any spells that you know that you can remember off the top of your head, nor are you very clear on kind of like the nature of it.
Okay. Well, they're not lying. There's definitely some magic here. I can't really tell much what's going on, but
Do you think it'll kill us?
you know, science is best done through experiments.
I walk forward.
I didn't say one of us.
Are you saying one
I
of the
walk
Underlins?
forward, waving my sword in front of me, seeing if my sword suddenly disappears or explodes into something.
I was about to say we have another magic user that could also scan it, but okay.
I chuck a rock in front of me, see if it poofs into dust in the pitch blackness I can't possibly see through.
As you're wandering forward, the kind of Underlins kind of like, you know, like kind of like catch the breath and are like staring on like intently, as you feel kind of like a pressure on you as you step through where this field was indicated as it's like pushing up against you until it just like a slight pressure and then releases as you step through it unharmed.
How you feeling?
Let's see.
Well, I look back at the group and just kind of shrug. Not dead. Do I immediately drop dead upon saying I'm not dead?
No, though 4 out of the 5 Underlins seemingly understand the situation. The 5th one, looking slightly younger, goes and then sprints forward towards you
I would
excitedly.
like to intercept him, like
Okay.
back through the field to keep him from going through if I can.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a, I guess, strength.
Or that'd be
Okay.
athletics.
I would think.
Where-
Probably
where
athletics, because you would have enough time
Where my
to.
sheet be?
I was mulling over in my head between like dexterity, like what is
Okay.
that called? Like a what you do for combat. Why am I blanking?
Martial arts?
No, like for order and all that.
Initiative?
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
I was mulling over initiative or acrobatics, though I think it's a long enough hallway that you would see him coming.
Okay, 13.
13. Okay. He let's see, there's that, and then okay. 19, he does notice you trying to intercept him. 6, he's not able to jump out of your way. So you're able to stop him. Though he kind of looks at you confused and like is pointing at the barrier and like pointing at you, like hitting your chest and like pointing towards him, like and then the other one, you see the older one like barking and I'm like, and then the younger one kind of like drops his head and sulks back to the group.
Right. I think this is where we part ways.
Yeah. Hig Valley looks at you and nods and says, "May the brights lead you." And then they start to head back towards their home.
I guess let's go into the force field of death.
Didn't kill me. Now, right, it's small likelihood that it detects the presence of math in your system. So, Sticks, you may just want to stay behind.
I'm just gonna walk confidently through the barrier.
Okay. Do you again feel the same kind of pressure and tugging on you? Then you push through it just the same. Everybody's able to pass through it without any kind of issue. Been awkward if one of you was like a goblin or something.
Guess it's a good thing I didn't play a goblin this time.
Right, shall we bop
so-
on down the hall and see what someone's went to a lot of trouble to keep people out?
I would love to see what magic they're using to create this, because this could be fascinating. It could be used in different ways.
You can roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
Now that you
No, I don't know.
okay, it's still dark.
I'm just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yeah, Yeah, with no light source still for the lot of you, um, you're trying to make out what potentially the source is, but you're unable to see any kind of further information.
These Magic the Gathering dice have been screwing me over.
They're not made for that intended purpose. So yeah, you're heading along this hallway, similarly designed as the receiving hall that you had entered in initially when you entered the underground, though smaller in scale. Similar columns and structure, though smaller, made more for just kind of like a passage hallway. About a few steps in, there's a large staircase that just seemingly goes up for y'all as you progress up it. Still dark, so I'm assuming Chacho is leading the way. Unless there is any intent to have a light source.
I mean, we have torches.
Okay, so y'all are lighting torches and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll light one of my torches.
I wanna light my hammer.
Okay.
And Chacho ran ahead.
Did he? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me pull the general channel back up. Ran ahead. Okay. So you ran ahead. Oh, he's kidding. Okay. All right. So y'all with light progress a lot easier unless roll initiative. No. So you make your way up until you get to another flat section that extends into another set of double doors, leading into another area.
So is it like a big area, or is it like a foyer? Like what are we working here?
Currently, y'all are in like a foyer, but the doors are closed. Headed to the next, like forward into the next area. The doors.
Well, you know me and closed doors. We have a special relationship. We do. So bippity boppity, I get on over there.
Okay.
Do I hear anything with my elf ears?
You're an elf.
No, I'm a human.
Roll perception.
I was about to say, I didn't know you were an elf this whole time.
He indeed is not.
Right. That's gonna be a big fat 10.
Okay. You do not hear anything from the other side of the door, though you
Does
do
the
hear.
door? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You do hear like kind of some rustling of wind. Though that's about it.
All right, that doesn't strike me as odd at all. We're only underground. Does the door look like it has been tampered with in any way?
Tampered. Roll an investigation check.
Oh God, you're asking me to use my mind? Ooh, a 5 on the die for a 4 as a result.
It doesn't seem like anything has been done to the door.
I open the door.
Okay. Nothing happens as you open the door. As you open it, you were surprised, because as you open the door and step through, you are now in the midst of a forest.
Like with daylight.
Yes, with daylight coming from an undeterminable source above you. Pine trees surrounding you with like the normal den of creatures, and then a kind of path leading you forward.
Oh fuck! If there's a path, I'm about following it.
Are there still walls around us?
You can see kind of off in the distance that there is walls, though also like sort of on the edge of the walls, looking like a city surrounding a clearing, though it's you can kind of tell that the city is more of like a backdrop and less of like actual buildings that you can reach.
Right, Tegan. We're not in Kansas anymore.
This feels like a kennel, like a pen to put a wild animal in.
Have you all entered the room?
I'm in the room and I'm going down the path.
Yeah.
I guess I will tentatively follow.
Okay. I have no idea when the danger perception thing came from Chacho. When, if that was before the door opened, then we're a little past that, and I apologize.
It was
but-
after the door opened.
Oh, okay.
It was.
If you would like to do a survival check, you can do that. Though, as you all enter the room, the doors close behind you and seal shut, disappearing,
Good.
leaving you in this seeming forest. You hear booming a voice from above you that is an undeterminable voice that you have not heard previously. It says, "Oh, welcome. I was wondering when you would make your way to my land of fantasy. I am your gracious host, the storyteller, and I present to you a world better than your own. And I encourage you to explore it more and find your way to me so that you may understand more of what I've been working on and have a better understanding of my goals." Yes, in a world of pure imagination.
I was about to be like, someone's been playing an awful lot of Blood and Wine recently.
The two that I gave the pickaxes to, do you still have those?
I believe I was one of them, and I have not. Or maybe it was Tegan. I don't know. It seems like
I bought two and gave it to two of y'all.
Yeah,
considering
let me see if I have it. Would have written it down. Yeah,
considering I
have it in
don't
my
remember,
inventory.
probably not.
Dude, I wrote it down. I wrote it down my thing. Hey, I'm a good little D&D player.
Do we want to try and bust down the door that we just got using the pickaxes? I don't like being caged in, and I don't like having these, like being chained down here.
When the door shut, was it like reminiscent of like the magical door at like the beginning of the underground civilization?
Yes, except for the fact that it's no longer there.
Okay.
I walk over to where my small morsel of gray matter might suspect the door would be.
Okay. I would
I
say
attempt to
yeah,
touch it.
You kind of do that thing where, like, you know how if you reach for a window that you think is a window where there is no window?
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
so
talking
just
about, where
like,
you kind of reach
or-
expecting resistance and then just kind of like stumble forward as you meet nothing.
Okay.
Imagine
Alright.
the wardrobe into Narnia, though the wardrobe is now gone.
That's what I was afraid of above table. On the table. Right. Well, pickaxes were a good thought, but don't think we're gonna get anywhere with it.
I guess I have to play his sick, disgusting game.
Ooh. Timpa.
Feel like we've perhaps jumped a couple rungs on the aggression ladder there, lad. He's only just invited us in. Not sure exactly what he's up to
Imprisoned
yet.
us into his. He's taken us prisoner in his own freak imagination.
Man, you really got two gears, eh? Like one's like, oh, it's all gonna be fine, and then the other's like, we have to kill these people, and it must be done as gruesomely as possible. And then there's not a whole lot of in between, it seems.
Like being treated like this?
Well, like is such a subjective term. I'm not about to lop his head off first chance I get just because we found him, which was what we set out to do.
Well, he
Right?
shouldn't have
Like,
imprisoned us. It's kind of a dick move.
I mean, sure, but like it's not like he was like, oh, you've got 5 square feet each that you can exist in. Rule will be served every hour on the hour, and you have to eat the whole bowl no matter how bad it tastes. Right? Like, gestures broadly to our apparent outdoor surrounding. Like, it seems more like he's attempting to teach us something than imprisoning us. As much as I hate to learn, this seems like the kind of thing maybe we should see through to the end. You know,
It's
what if he's gonna turn around and say, oh, you know, now that you've seen all this, you're free to go. I'm just trying to open up like a fun little distraction from the world's problems. What if this is like somewhere where you can take your kids and they can meet their heroes? Like a Disneyland of sorts. Don't know who Disney is, but it popped into me noggin.
Yes, some of these same contraptions that he's created, such as the whale frog and the vampire, have attacked people.
I mean,
I just don't get a good feeling from this place.
well, fair enough.
With the roll of a
I would like
survival
to
of
say that I have calmed down at this point.
Okay. With the roll of 19 for survival from Chacho, you are noticing that you're in kind of a thickly wooded area, though the way the trees are oriented and the way they start to thin along the path, you were getting the feeling that they lead to a clearing, and that they're starting to thin out in the way that you would expect for a clearing to be up ahead. Outside of that, it's like trees that are like natural, though unexpected in your current kind of situation. Yeah. What are y'all doing?
I want to bippity bop down the path.
Okay.
He did say we have to go down the path.
Is everybody going?
I guess we can follow.
Okay.
I mean, no point but to play along.
There's very, very few options here that aren't just wander strange woods.
Chacho is indicating that he would still like the lead.
That's fine. I
Yes.
would probably just attempt to bop down the path, and if he was like, "Hey, wait," I would hold up.
I'm
Do
assuming
we
that's
still have
what
the
they're
ropes tying us to each other?
doing. Yes, you're all still tied together.
I would like to untie myself.
Okay. As y'all bop along, you hear from above again, like a voice that is kind of cascading around you, like almost like thunder rolling across the area. Oh, very good. And as our intrepid group of adventurers seek onward, now a tale given from one of your own. Styx, I believe your name is. There once was a slime. Became very big. Then he granted himself sentience. Was revered as a god. Living in a forest surrounded by big cities, he was considered a deity. The voice kind of echoes across the cavern and fades as y'all walk along the path.
Well, if it's just a slime, we should be able to take it, but we should be careful that there's no traps that we don't walk into. Just fear of a pit trap with a gelatinous cubes in them.
Okay. I guess survival check from you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
If
If
I
you're
do
like keeping an eye out for him.
Should I do the Magic the Gathering dice, or do I do my normal dice?
That is your own personal choice, my friend.
I'm trusting you, Magic the Gathering. Nat 20.
Alrighty. There are no
So
traps.
22. What?
I said there were no traps.
Okay. That feels wasted.
As you bebop along, there are no traps to be discernible. Though the clearing is starting to open up in front of you as you enter. You enter the clearing. It's a large circular area, and in front of you is a log across a couple of rocks. In a circular area surrounded by trees. Tamping down to dirt, as you can kind of look closer with that survival check, you can see an area where there is no grass, where it seems it's been stamped flat by a large mass of weight that's kind of circled it. And as you look up in the direction towards the other end of the clearing, you can see what seemingly looks like a hill in the front with the amount of sticks and trees and dirt sticking out of it. which it then kind of jiggles a little bit.
I think that's not a hill. I think that's a fucking slime.
Right. Well, you're the one that knew the story. Was the slime friendly?
Yeah, I mean, in my story, he was a friendly slime.
Right. I mean, does the
He
path
didn't take
require us?
kindly to trespassers, but as long as you were nice.
That's an important detail.
Yeah, I think we might fall into that category through any particular lens that you're you're framing events in right now. Does the
What
path
if we
require
offered a
us?
gift? Then we
Hmm?
wouldn't be trespassers. We're guests.
Right. Have you got something that a slime's going to be particularly chuffed about?
I got a healing. I got a love potion.
Oh, what the?
I could throw the love potion into the slime and make him dissolve it and fall in love with me.
That
Did I give you
sounds an
something
awful lot like a an awful
did
lot
give me
like a
this love
personal
potion.
prerogative.
On this episode of the DM gave the party something he never expected to see in a setting like this.
Does the path require us to interact with the slime?
I mean, the path opened up into the clearing, and then I guess roll perception.
All of us are.
Oh,
Just him.
Okay.
oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's really good. 24.
Yeah. As you kind of are scoping out the clearing, you can see on the other side there is a path that extends past it. Though you would more than likely have to, like, you're not getting by the slime, in any which way. Like you're gonna have to pass around the slime to get to the other path.
Okay. I mean,
Whether that's
right? Maybe we can reason with him, talk to him. He said he was a deity. Maybe if we just show the proper reverence, we can scoot on by.
Yeah.
And then, if that doesn't work, huck a love potion at him. See
Yeah,
what
and I
happens.
can make us look like I can make us look like a slime, so it would be attracted to us, and so it would be more effective.
Right, I'll take my chances outside of the illusion of slime before slime copulation begins. But excellent plan. Once I'm on the other side of the clearing, feel free to start with it.
Or I make an illusion of slime and make it really sexy looking, so it tries to have sex with the illusion.
You know what? Whatever floats your boat, I'm getting
And then
into
we
the
film it.
clearing. Whoa, that took quite the turn. I bop into the clearing and immediately bow formally and say, "Oh, great slime, I beg of you, let me pass in your great eminence."
You see kind of a very gelatinous shudder as it emerges from the kind of copse of trees in the middle, as it slinks its way forward into more of an eyesight. You can see this large, like hunk of slime with a face that kind of like emerges from inside of it, and it looks at you and goes, yeah, it's good to have somebody recognizing some deities in here, eh?
Oh no.
Of course, and if you like, I will leave a small token of my reverence, and I pull out 10 gold coins and I bestow them upon the ground, so that he might observe my wealth that I bestow upon him.
You can see it kind of like shift, where you can kind of tell it's looking at it, though not that it has any eyes. And then it kind of looks back at you, looks at the gold, looks back up at you, and goes, I'm a god, what do I have useful money, especially down here?
Oh, but you see, great slime, it's shiny.
Ooh.
Sunken pirate wreck.
You have no need for it to spend. Truly, anyone recognizing your greatness would bestow upon you what you wish. But perhaps on days where you stand around and bask in your godliness, you might like something with a bit of sparkle to look at. And hence I have left it for you.
I'm not a baby.
Then what does
You-
the great slime desire?
You know,
What can we provide for the king?
you know, at one point I had
I had a son. He was a muffin,
Ah.
and I enjoyed
That's a nice
talking with
voice.
him very much. He was a very funny guy. I though need nothing. I rule over my domain. I am well liked by the people, as he kind of like motions with like kind of a shudder, like blah, 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 and like a little bit of a like a thing that pokes out, pointing towards the city that y'all kind of know is fake, though maybe he doesn't. Um, Towards the edge. Though, if you're passing through, you gotta pony up. I am.
Pony up what? You said you didn't want gold.
I mean, shit. I don't know. Surprise me.
We could tell you a story of your son and how well he's doing. We have dealt with him before. We can give you peace of mind knowing that he's doing well.
What the fuck is it? You've met my son.
We have. He is a famous comedian above the surface now.
What is this above surface thing? I don't know what that means, but he's doing good. He's a comedian. I always knew he was funny. What get more?
He's become a good boy. He's spitting image of his father.
Well, I mean, he was a muffin. I'm clearly not a muffin. I honestly, his mother told me like, this is your son, and I was like, I don't know, it don't quite look like my son. It looks like a muffin. And I was a little skeptical, but he does take after his father.
That he did. That he does.
Which, woo!
Mr. Tarantino, you've been warned about this.
What you mean did?
I meant does. It's a slip of the tongue.
He went to travel far and wide to spread his comedy with the wider world.
Alright, what do you have for me? I'm glad to know my son's doing well, but I'm not letting you get through here just off of that.
I don't have anything except
Yeah.
adventuring supplies.
Yeah, I've got money, and I tried that, and he didn't like it. He thought I was calling him infantile when I offered him reasonable sums of cash.
Would you like a performance by chance?
Maybe.
I don't know what you want.
I don't know what I want either. I'm a damn god that's stuck here. Has everything you could ever want. What is
How about
life?
being able to leave? You said you're stuck here. What if we allow you the chance to leave this area?
And deprive the people of their god? I mean,
Or you can give more people the brilliance of worshiping you.
how am I supposed to leave? What is that supposed like? Where? Where am I supposed to go?
You can go to where your son is. You could travel the world with him and have people bow before you and worship you as the god you are. Instead of just having the surrounding cities, you could have the entire planet. 1,000,000 times the amount of people worshiping you now.
Right. Okay.
Roll,
Oh,
roll persuasion, and then what, Nick?
so let me get this straight. I say after Styx has finished saying this, being bopped off to a magical realm of trees and talking slimes, bridge too far, subjugating entire world to the whims of said slime. A-okay. Just so I'm tracking on where your particular moral boundaries lie, so I don't accidentally cross any of them.
I would
He's
like
a
to
god.
whisper. I'd like to whisper to Kato, be like, "I'm just trying to get us away from this goddamn thing. I'm not guaranteeing we're going to take him with us."
Fair, I suppose, but
It's called lying.
yeah, you're making an awful lot of promises.
Well, there's a good chance when we get rid of the magic that's creating these things, he will disappear also.
I know nothing about magic. It's your wheelhouse, mate.
Also, I rolled a 14, Kyle.
Okay.
Where the hell you supposed to get me out of this place anyway? I mean,
Well,
there's
you
a
know,
whole city around me. I'm in a, like, how are we supposed to get through without them lamenting the loss of their deity? I'm a big deal here, you know.
we could build a giant memorial to you. Build a giant mountain the shape of you so they can go in there and pray every day to remember you by, while you go and get more subjects. You know, we ran into some artisans a few ways away that they might be able to build just that for you.
Roll deception.
Okay. Ooh, not good. 8.
What do you mean, no ways away? Like within the city? Like, he seems starting to get a little skeptical. He goes, "There's a lot of stuff you're promising here."
I lean into Tegan at this point and say, right. Over under, we add kill a god to our to-do list today.
Hack and dethrone God. Easy.
Try and sleight of hand my love potion to Kato or Tegan.
Or give to Kato.
And I scoop my 10 gold off of the floor. Not angrily, but I'm not just gonna leave 10 gold pieces hanging out for no reason. If he doesn't want it, come on.
Fair. Go ahead and roll that sleight of hand check.
Yeah, I'm stepping away from the D&D dice. So I'm gonna roll my normal dice. Okay, and that worked great. That's a 21.
All right. Sorry, I keep like rolling this off my desk. Yeah, you're able to pass it over to Kato without any kind of reaction from El Slime.
I'm gonna
Alright.
whisper, if it gets any bad, chuck it. It should dissolve in him, and then he'll be charmed by you.
Oh.
It's not a skill. It's not a skill check, and it's not a DC. He'll just be charmed by you for an hour.
Right.
Preferably if we get closer, so it's harder to miss.
Right. I'm gonna pretend that made sense. And I guess I hold on to.
That also
and-
works.
Oh, did Chacho
Chacho.
just say? Oh, okay. I mean, I am going to begin while we're talking to casually walk around the clearing. Just kind of like conversationally meander. Attempting as I depart the group to indicate that they should come with me. And see if I can cover any ground before this kicks off.
You could probably get closer though if you start trying to edge towards like the other side of the.
Oh, that is very much my intent.
Right, he's going to start kind of like sludging his way to block you from the path.
Okay.
While not like acknowledging it outright, that is kind of the positioning.
Yeah, so we're still like he is between us and our objective.
Correct.
Okay. Say right. What about a piece of art? How would you feel if I painted you in grand repose?
Yeah.
Something truly magnificent, fitting a deity such as yourself, and left it here with you. Would that be suitable? Would that buy us passage across the clearing?
He sighs, and then you see like a blob come like from inside of him, and then out on the ground like 5 paintings of him.
Yeah, I've got enough of those, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. I mean that's literally the last creative solution I have to this. Above the table guys. Should I chuck the fucking potion? Should we just try to beat him to death? Like, what's going on here?
Also, I don't know what that has to do, Chacho, but Chacho is typing right now. I can track. Oh,
I mean,
with the notes, if the notes were about, I don't know if the notes would still have the scent on them though.
I don't have the notes.
You can track other creatures. Track, that's less like. I mean, it's like you can track them, so like making essentially like negating having to make survival checks if you were like following tracks or like broken branches and stuff along those lines. And then you can move safely, as in if you're like trucking along, you can find your way there. However, like you're in this group of people in a clearing, and he's seen you. You can't just like, like all of a sudden, oh fuck, where'd he go?
I mean, I get what he's going for. Like, if there's a scent of the storyteller, I just don't think that applies in that same situation. I think it's like what you said. Like, you don't have to check for
Survival
stuff with
stuff.
survival
Yeah, if
check.
you're like trying to track somebody through terrain or something along those lines, it would kind of negate having to make those checks. So useful in the future, though. Right now, I don't think it would really.
Oh, instead of chucking, what if we tell him it's a grand whiskey or something? A new drink he's never had before.
I mean,
Just
I
don't have
don't-
to worry about chucking it and then you rolling in that one.
right. That's above the table, very in character. Very much my brand. On the table, you haven't explained what this thing is, other than the slime's gonna get super chuffed with me once once it enters the slime. So I'm actually really angling not to throw the potion.
You know, it's just such a grand liquor there that it's just anyone would die to try. I'm saying this a little bit loudly to try and let the slime overhear it.
Okay.
Like, anyone would die to want to taste this amazing liquor.
I will drop it on the floor to break the bottle.
No! Can I try and dive to catch it?
Oh, I haven't yet. I'm warning you.
y'all are having this conversation. He overhears the part about the whiskey and goes, "What's this about? Booze?"
Yes, we have some booze.
Oh, a discerning gentleman.
What is this fine booze you have?
It's
I
I can hold on to it if you would rather
No.
not hold it, Kato.
I've got it. I would like to make a sleight of hand check to like flourishingly present it, and then I would like to make another sleight of hand check to conceal me chucking it on the ground from the party.
All right, do the first one.
First one is a 19.
Okay, so you flourish it out, and
Okay.
then the second one.
I'm thinking about the second one. I will pause after the flourish, and I will fumble if things continue to devolve.
Okay. You do it. It teeters a little bit in a way that could potentially be instigated into a quote unquote unfortunate stumble. He goes, what's that?
It's some of the best liquor produced from far away. If you give us free passage, we might be willing to trade you for it.
Right, under the very specific condition that you only imbibe 10 minutes after we're down the path.
What if where does it come from? What kind is it?
You'd have to ask Styx. I don't know anything about it. I'm just the presenter, and I would like to do a presentory flourish.
It's a grand liquor made beneath the oceans. We use the great pressure of all the water just crushing down on the bottom of the ocean just to distill all this great berries and stuff that can be found underwater, like all these ocean fruits, to make this grand liquor
I would
down
say
there.
roll a deception check, but this feels more like performance.
Which one would you prefer?
Go
Deception or performance?
performance.
Okay. Okay. That is a 26.
He goes, "Oh, I would like to try a little bit of this liquor so I can understand my situation."
No, no, no. You see, this is a very rare vintage. You can't just try it. You need to have it all at once just to really understand the flavor. It's a very complex palate. If you just sip a little bit, you won't get the full experience. Now, I know I can trust you because you are a god. You can handle the full thing. I mean, children in my village can handle the full thing. So I think you can do well with just taking the whole thing if you were let us pass.
You giving liquor to children? That's weird.
Well, I talked to a muffin earlier this week, so I think that's a little bit weirder.
Hey, don't you call my son weird.
I was like, for, it's a super strong liquor that we feed to kids and has no effect. And your son's a freak.
I
Everything that he just said was true. I don't know where you're getting after.
give me the give me the bottle.
I will shuffle forward, put it down, and then do like the shuffle backwards bow from Emperor's New Groove to keep from getting kicked out of the palace.
He's gonna start sludging forward towards it, and a little kind of like, what is that thing called? A pseudopod. Little hand comes out and scoops it up and is like inspecting it. Oop. And just kind of sets it back down and goes, "Alright, I guess you guys can pass."
Thank you very much. It's like let's get the fuck out of here.
Yup, I am like full on power walking as fast as I humanly can out of the the clearing.
Alright. As you enter the other side of the clearing, you can see the path before you as y'all trudge along. You hear above you, "Ah! That is something that I would not have expected from the story. Not
Yeah,
a quite typical end, though one all the same. Will our protagonist get away with it unharmed? Will we ever see the god slime again? Who knows?" And then a door appears in front of y'all.
Open the
Does this door
door.
have hinges? Before you open it, does this door have hinges?
I mean, it's framed.
Okay, never mind.
What do you mean?
I was gonna see if there's hinges. I still have the water in my alchemy jug, so I didn't use all of it. And I was gonna put some in the hinges and freeze it to knock the door down, so it wouldn't be able to close on us.
You sure can try.
Okay, can I try and do that?
Yeah.
Okay, what do I need to roll?
Dexterity potentially, or like fine-tune,
Like a sleight of hand, or
something involving accuracy, which I believe would be dexterity, right? Probably sleight of hand. Yeah, that makes sense.
okay. I'm going back to the magic dice. I'm giving it another chance. Nat 20.
There you go. Yeah, you're able to kind of fit some water into it and freeze it on the hinges that are in the frame door. As you kind of go through the door, it cracks as one of the doors falls off. Its hinges as you enter through. You were in another hallway that was similar to the one that you remember entering in previously, when you entered into the clearing. As you get through, everybody makes it through, and you can still see into the clearing.
So there's like a door-shaped portal now.
Yeah, like the door still there.
Okay.
Like the pathway is still there, as in like the frame door is. Though there's nothing, like it's a wall essentially with the door set in it, and then you can see into the clearing through the door.
Okay. Well, we have more options now for where we can go now if things get a little bit hairy.
Forward and horny slime. Rocking a hard place, mate.
Horny slime only for an hour.
Right, then it's angry slime. But onward and upward?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so y'all are following along the same kind of corridor again with columns similarly shaped and situated as the pathway that y'all had entered in before. As you get to the end of the hallway, it takes a left again up another set of stairs as you approach the end of the hallway to another set of double doors.
Bippity boppity boo, you know what I have to do. I open the doors.
Okay. Again, as you open it, it opens into a street lit by lanterns and looking very similar to streets that you had seen in Principium, though slightly off in a sense that you can tell that it's not the real Principium.
Is anybody
Walk
present?
down the
Currently,
street.
there is nobody in the street, nobody you can see.
Making
time
my
of
way
day is it?
downtown.
It is nighttime, so it's dark, though
Okay.
lit along the street with gas lamps.
This is Vampire Story.
What time of day is it? Night.
It's dark.
I mean, fair response to the question, just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm walking down the street. Nothing's gonna happen to me. Ba 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 ba. I'm skipping. I'm laughing.
Roll.
I'm making lots of noise.
Sticks, roll a perception check.
Okay, I'll roll a perception check. Oh, magic dice failed me. 6.
You're kind of looking around, and then as you're looking around, you feel kind of the feeling that something's off. And then as you're staring back down the street that y'all came from, it finally hits you that the door that you had entered through is gone.
Ah, damn it. We're missing the door and I didn't knock it over like the other one.
You'll find yourselves in the street. And we will pick up with that next time.
Okay.
Are we?
Partly because I need Bob to be here for this next part.
I kind of figured based off the settings.
But yeah.